What if some mythical creatures were never myths at all? What if people were actually describing real animals, the only way they knew how? Today, we're uncovering 7 legendary beasts that turned out to be real. And the last one is the strangest of all. 1. Dragons. Dragons appear in stories from China, Europe, and the Middle East. Flying. Fire-breathing. Massive. But real animals may have inspired them. Ancient people often found huge fossilized bones in the ground. They didn't know about dinosaurs, so they called them dragons. But here's where it gets weird. Some dragon legends describe wings, claws, and reptile skin, exactly what dinosaur fossils show. 2. Unicorns. Unicorns were not fantasy creatures at first. Ancient texts described them as real animals. Greek historians wrote about a one-horned beast roaming distant lands. Strong. Fast. Dangerous. Much later, scientists identified a real animal behind the story. The Indian rhinoceros. But the story doesn't end there. From a distance, a rhino's side horn can look like a single horn, especially to someone who had never seen one before. 3. The Kraken. Sailors feared the Kraken more than storms, a giant sea monster that dragged ships underwater. For centuries, it was dismissed as a myth, until deep-sea exploration began. Scientists discovered giant squid, creatures longer than buses, with eyes the size of dinner plates. But here's where it gets strange. Dead giant squid sometimes float to the surface. Early sailors may have seen only parts and imagined the rest. 4. The sea serpent. Sea serpents were reported for hundreds of years. Long necks, humpbacks, snake-like movement. Many eyewitness accounts described the same shape. That raised questions. Scientists now believe many sightings were oarfish. These ribbon-like fish can grow over 30 feet long. But the story doesn't end there. When oarfish surface, they often appear sick or dying. That made them seem unnatural, even monstrous. 5. The roc. The roc was said to carry elephants in its claws. A bird so large it blocked out the sun. It sounds impossible. But ancient Madagascar tells a different story. The island once had elephant birds. They stood over 10 feet tall and laid eggs bigger than footballs. But here's the twist. Early travelers never saw them alive. They only saw the bones and eggs. And imagination filled the rest. 6. The Yeti. The Yeti is known as the abominable snowman. Hairy, tall, human-like. Himalayan villagers reported sightings for generations. Track sounds, shadows. Modern science found something interesting. DNA tests on Yeti hair samples showed bear species. Some extinct, some rare. But the story doesn't end there. Standing bears can look eerily human, especially through snow and fog. 7. The bunyip, craziest one. Australian Aboriginal stories warned of the bunyip, a creature living in swamps and rivers. Descriptions varied widely. Tusks, fur, flippers. For a long time, no one knew what it was. Then scientists studied fossil remains. They matched Diprotodon, a giant prehistoric wombat-like animal. But here's the unsettling part. Early humans lived alongside it. Some stories may be memories, not myths. Myths don't always come from imagination. Sometimes they come from misunderstanding. Sometimes from memory. And sometimes from creatures we barely missed. Which one surprised you the most?